Terrible Tudors, gorgeous Georges, stylish Stuarts, while Victorians, woeful wars, ferocious fights, stitches, castles, daring knights, horrors that defy description, cutthroat Celts, all full Egyptians, vicious Vikings, cruel crime, punishment from ancient time, Romans, rotten, rank and ruthless, cavemen, sapics, fearsome, toothless, groovy Greeks, veiny sages, measly Middle Ages, stories we do that, and your host a talking rat. The past is no longer a mystery. Welcome to Horrible Histories. Yes! Yes! Woo! How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Luke's Reviews, and on today's video, we are currently in Britain experiencing a ridiculous heatwave. Like, at the time of recording yesterday, it hit 39 degrees Celsius.
Feeling hot, hot, hot.
So, in a way, it's kind of not that fun to be out in the sun, so I went and found a nice air-conditioned cinema. I sat down to watch Horrible Histories, the movie Rotten Romans. Now, when it comes to the Horrible Histories series, or franchise, so to speak, I was a huge fan. It basically influenced my childhood. I loved the book series, I was obsessed with the television series, but that television series that ended quite a few years ago now, and obviously I'm now 21, and there's no mistaking that Horrible History specifically, it is aimed for kids. It's a child property. Its target audience are children, but at the same time I can sit and watch those episodes now and I can still find enjoyment. Yes, some of the jokes are clearly directed for a childlike level of humour, but if anyone that knows me, I have such an immature sense of humour most of the time anyway, that the show still makes me laugh to this day. And so now we're getting their first feature-length film adaptation, and as the title suggests, we are transported back to ancient Rome, in which Emperor Claudius has died, and now Emperor Nero has ascended to become the ruler of the Roman Empire. Although, whilst he's feuding with his mother, who's played by Cattrall, over in Britain, Boudica has begun her dominant siege across the country as she begins to rally troops to take up arms against the Romans. Now, I'm not going to waste time here. This wasn't good. This really wasn't very good at all. And the unfortunate thing is that it is clearly not the Horrible Histories that I fondly remember. What made that television show so entertaining and enjoyable, basically no matter your age, is its essence to entertain as well as still educate. And I think one of the biggest problems that this film suffers from is that where the books and the TV show, it would present you with the facts and it would build the jokes around the facts so as to maintain its educational core values. This kind of does the opposite, which in a weird way makes it lose all meaning. It has a central joke and then it tries to link it in to fact, as if the educational aspect of it is an afterthought. And I'm not one to want to go into a Horrible Histories movie and just expect a history lesson, but the principle of Horrible Histories is for you to be educated and entertained. It's supposed to make the concept of history fun and accessible no matter your age, whereas here I feel like they went for the entertainment aspect first and the educational was an afterthought. There's no doubt in my mind that they're really trying to tread down a Monty Python-esque route, but it just doesn't have the wit or the humour to deliver on that. The structure of the show was basically a comedy sketch show that would take you on a journey throughout history. We'd look at different periods of time, from ancient Greece, ancient Egypt, all the way through to the Victorian times, World War I and II. And you had a fantastic ensemble cast that is nowhere to be seen in this film. Instead, what you're left with is a cast seemingly plucked at random to contain some familiar British faces such as Nick Frost and Lee Mack and Alexander Armstrong, but yet they never utilise their talents properly. Nick Frost looks like he is so bored and wanting to be anywhere else. Lee Mack is fine, but he's basically just playing Lee Mack dressed as a Roman soldier. The dialogue is dreadful. It is ear-scrapingly terrible and has some of the worst one-liners I have ever heard. The slapstick just isn't funny. The majority of the performances are void of any life or energy at all. And then you've got the musical numbers, which is a huge part of Horrible Histories, the TV show. Amazing, ridiculous, bonkers musical numbers, but it fit the tone of what the show was already setting. In this film, it becomes so out of left field, and it's so jarring to watch, and there's no life to it. They are performed lifelessly. The film, for me, just screams lazy and lacks any sort of creativity. From the costumes that look as if you can purchase them for cheap if you want to do live action role playing, to then really, really like fake looking and cheap sets. It just comes across that they were trying to speed this film out as quickly as possible. There's no real sense of care. The only significant amount of praise that I can give this film is that I thought Sebastian Croft and Emilia Jones, who are our two leads in this film, one being a Roman soldier and another being part of a Celtic warrior tribe, I quite liked them in the film. I thought their relationship was fairly sweet. They had enough charisma and charm to sort of drive their characters forward. It just goes to show, I don't think this movie was for me though. Like, even though I'm hating on it and I really haven't said that many positive things about this film, it's not aimed for me. I was in a screening that had a fair few kids in, and a lot of them were laughing. A lot of them enjoyed the film. A lot of them were up and dancing during the musical numbers. A lot of them were really, and I mean like proper belly laughing at some of the moments that I thought were a bit too childish. But then again, I'm 21 years old. I've kind of grown past watching a man fall in poop funny anymore. I feel like the best way to describe this Horrible Histories movie is one that parents will feel like they have to drag themselves to the cinemas to see for the sake of their kids. This isn't like a Toy Story 4 or a How to Train Your Dragon where I feel like kids and adults can find equal enjoyment. This is a film purely just for kids. For me, personally, I thought the dialogue and the amateur nature of it all, and the fact that it didn't feel like Horrible Histories, really spoiled it for me. And so that's why, taking everything into consideration, I'm going to give Horrible Histories, the movie Rotten Romans, a 3 out of 10. Anyway, guys, those are my thoughts on Horrible Histories, the movie Rotten Romans. That is such a needlessly long title. If you've seen the film already, let me know what you thought in the comments below, as well as my question to you: what was your favourite educational entertainment programme that you saw when you were a child? Thanks for watching! Let me know what you thought of this film down in the comments below. If you have enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. The links to all of my social media accounts are in the description below. Many thanks for watching, guys, and I shall see you in the next video.